I'm just Amos. Welcome back to Life of Robert's Wife. And today I want to share 5 different ways I believe you can be discreet while using social media. So stay tuned. Okay, welcome back. I'm just Amos. Welcome back to Life of Robert's Wife. I wanted to share some things about social media today because I believe that because social media is so important in our lives today, that we can misuse it, okay? And there are ways that we can navigate it safely, not only for ourselves and for our families. And I believe that when we do this, that we can enjoy it more because we're using it safer and we're using more wisdom, right? And we always want to make sure that we're using wisdom with anything that we do, and yet still enjoy what we are trying to do. And so the first thing I want to share is do not post your address or too much about where you live on social media. When we're making videos with titles such as a day in the life or something of that nature, we want to make sure that when we go outside, we don't post or we don't have a scene where it shows our mailbox and our mailbox has our street address on it, or even your front door and it has the numbers on the side. And I want to use scriptural backing for that. Titus 2:5, it tells us to be discreet. And when we talk about the term discreet, it tells us having or showing discernment or good judgment in conduct and especially in speech. To be careful, especially in keeping something a secret. And so we want to keep certain things a secret because you don't know who knows who. And this world is smaller than we think it is, right? And we don't know who, if we're doing an apartment tour, we're doing a new house tour, and somebody may say, I know where they live because my cousin's cousin, best friend, grandma stay on that street. And now you have exposed your whole family to the social media world, and anybody with any ill motives can come by your home, right? We don't want people to come by our home. So please make sure that you don't post too much about your address or where you live. And if you're at work, please make sure that you place your name tag like inside your shirt, or you take it off and hang it up before you film, because you don't want people to get irate with something that you have said and then they try to show up at your job, right? And we know in this cancel culture now, they can find you and then they can get you fired. So please make sure that you use wisdom in where you live and where you work, okay? Number 2, be content. And here we're going to Luke chapter 12, verse 15. And this is Jesus talking. And he said unto them, take heed and beware of covetousness, for a man's life consisteth not in the abundance of the things which he possesses. So he's basically saying, don't look at other people's stuff and say, oh, they got so much stuff. And then you think, oh, they living it up. They have a good life because look at all that they have. And that's a worldly standard where we count gain as godliness, like he must be blessed. Look at all the stuff that he or she has. And that's not necessarily true. And so when we're looking on social media, we need to make sure that we are content with the things that we have. If you have a little red wagon and you put flowers in and you put your dirt and you just walk around your yard, in the backyard, and you just have fun with just rolling your little red wagon around. But if you're scrolling on Instagram and you see somebody with a red wagon and it has rims on the wheel, you can't get mad. And now you go outside and kick your little red wagon over. Because what happened to you enjoying what you have, right? What made that switch in your mind where I don't even like my red wagon no more? Why they got to get a big one? How much money they making where they can get a big red wagon? Because she don't even got no job better than mine. What business is it of yours? What business is it of yours? Why are you mad? Go out there and be happy with it. Look, go get your little red wagon, pick it up, dust it off, and go walk with it. Because it made you happy before, it should not make you sad now. And I have seen online where studies showed a link between a lot of use of social media. It leads to anxiety, risk of depression, suicidal thoughts, and then it can make you not content in what you have or even your own appearance, because you are looking at what other people have. You can't do that. God has given you what you have. You be blessed with that, because you know what? Some people don't even have what you have. Some people have less and they're still excited. And you know what? one thing that I can be blessed for is the fact that I can sleep at night. I can go to sleep. I'm not tossing and turning because I don't have to watch over my shoulders. I don't have to see who is after me. I know a deal didn't go bad. I know I ain't stealing money out of nothing. And I'm content with what I have because I don't have to stay up late. Like, how are we going to get the money to get this? Me and my husband ain't arguing about why this woman got a pretty pink dress and I don't have a pretty pink dress. And now my husband got to go out and get 2 jobs to afford a pretty pink dress just to make me happy so he can have peace in his house. No, I'm content with what I have. So I just want you to be mindful of that because things like that happen. And even though, I was being humorous with the examples, issues like that are not funny because people really are downing themselves because this person has this. And if you're feeling that way, it's time for you to take a step back from social media, and you need to even go before the Lord and ask if you even need to have it. If it's having you feeling a certain way every time you get on it, then it might not be what you need in your life at this time. Okay, let's go to number 3. Be mindful of your time. And here we're going to go to Psalms 90:12, and it says, so teach us to number our days so that we may apply our hearts unto wisdom. When we look at this verse is basically saying, when it says teach us to number our days, it's basically saying, Lord, help me to be aware at all times that I don't know when I'm going to leave here. And so with the time that I do have, help me to be wise in how I spend it. Help me to know this life is going to be like a vapor. It's here and then it's gone in a second. And so because of that, with what I'm doing now, with the time that I have now, I need to use that time wisely. And so when you're on social media, you can mindlessly scroll for hours. I mean hours, and you don't even know it. You just laughing on TikToks and you sending your friend, girl, you see this, you see this, and it was 7 o'clock, and then you look up, it's 10 o'clock. You ain't got out the bed, ain't nobody ate breakfast, and you like, I have failed. I have failed my family. And this is not a good thing because you have not used your time wisely. What have you even accomplished in that time, in that day, right? And if the example that I gave was 7 to 10, that was 3 hours. 3 hours, and all you have done was look on social media. Now, what could you have done in that 3 hours of time? You could have washed dishes, you could have cooked breakfast, you could have washed clothes, folded clothes. And for those of you who have to go to work, what could you have accomplished at work? I'm a housewife. I've been a housewife for over 10 years. I am a proud housewife. I see nothing wrong with it. Can't nobody make me feel bad about being a housewife because, honey, I'm at the house and it's so much for me to do, right? But if you have been mindlessly scrolling for over 3 hours, what could you have accomplished in that time? And even in saying that, how much time have you spent with the Lord? Did you just pick up your Bible and say, oh, Jesus wept, or in the beginning God created heaven and earth, and that was it? And then when you look at the time that you spent on social media, there's hours gone by. And I don't know about Android users, but I know with the Apple phone, every week it used to send me a stamp that said a notification, and it would say you had spent this many hours this week on social media a day. And I'll be like, I know you lying. I know. Didn't I tell you to use my phone? And it was me. Now, I do listen to sermons on my phone. I do have a playlist on YouTube where I'm cleaning my home, or we listen to music while we do our schoolwork. But then a lot of that was me. A lot of that was just watching videos, right? And I'm not saying that you were doing something negative with it. You could be watching a lot of sermons. You could be the whole day you're listening to worship, praise and worship music, but you're just still sitting there. What else? And even with that, I want you to know that the Lord had gave me something through someone before, and they said that God was like, even if you're just sitting and you're listening to preachers all day, but you're listening to what God gave them, you even need to turn off preachers that you listen to on YouTube as well, so that you can get on your face before God so he can tell you specifically what he has for you. And that was a mind opening. It was like, I thought I was doing good because I was just listening to this person all day, and I was learning from this. I was gleaning from this person's ministry. I was growing, but God still says, but I done gave them what they needed. You hadn't spent time before me to get what you needed from me. Yes, you learning this, and that's good and dandy. But what about what I have for you? And that's convicting. Because again, going back to Psalms 90:12, we have to number our days. What if this is the last day and God has given you so many times to say, and you kept saying, Lord, I'm gonna get before you. I'm gonna spend more time. And then now it's like your time is gone. And you stand before the Lord and he was like, I don't know you. All your time was spent on social media, on your phone, on your devices. And you know what that is? Idolatry. So we want to be mindful of the time, because anytime we put something else at a place where God needs to be, that is idolatry. We're idolizing these things because we can't tear from it. And again, if you know that you're spending too much time, then you need to go before the Lord. Lord, do I even need this in my life? Is this even useful? And I deleted my Facebook. I deleted my Instagram. There's a story behind that. But I'm telling you, I have gotten more things done because it's not in my life anymore. So let's go to number 4. Number 4, the advice I would give about using discretion with social media is to be protective of your loved ones. And so we're going to Titus 2:4, and it says that they may teach the young women to be sober, to love their husbands, to love their children. So I want you to understand that in this scripture, Paul is talking to Titus, and he's telling him how to handle the people at this church that he's going to teach. And he's telling him, when you talk to the older women, tell them to teach this to the younger women, okay? And so you got to teach them how to love their husbands, how to love their children. And especially with social media, people will get mad at their spouse and put everything on social media. Everything. And it's just like a real life, in real time soap opera, just a bunch of drama. And it'll have so many comments, because now the husband, his pride is hurting. He's under there, and they're going back and forth. And then family members getting in. And then some people are trying to tell them, y'all take this off. Use wisdom. Y'all love each other. Don't put this on here. And they're so in their feelings. They're in the same house. The same house. But they in different rooms on social media arguing with each other. How much sense does that make? We don't do people we love like that. If you have a problem with your spouse, you put that phone, turn it off. Put it under a pillow, put it in the room, put it in a lock, under lock and key, until you get over what you need to get over, so that you won't go to social media and you expose your spouse. And that goes for both of your spouses. You don't want to hurt someone like that, because you cannot take it back. I don't care if y'all love each other the next day and you delete it. It is already screenshot. It has already been shared 5,000 times. People already know. And that allows for the enemy to come in. So please make sure that you protect your spouse on social media. Also protect your children. Don't share secrets of your children on social media. And then you have family members to hear it or watch it or see it, because some people put videos up. So, you don't want somebody to hear about something about your child, and then it comes back to your child. And they're a teenager, and they're still learning who they are. They're still handling things at school, pressures and stuff that we don't know anything about. Then they come home and they was like, Mama, did you tell so-and-so this? And you was like, well, I put it on Facebook. What? You can't do that, because you don't want anybody doing you like that. Now that child has to deal with it. Every time I come around the family, they're going to bring this up because my mama then told them X, Y, and Z. And how can your child trust you? Let me tell you something. We can't expect blind loyalty from anybody. You don't even have blind loyalty to everybody that you know and that you are supposed to love because they're blood family. Why would you think that your children have to have blind loyalty? And I'm your mama though. You gotta, but you don't respect this person. You have to show respect to your children, and you have to protect them. So again, keep things about your family and your loved ones off of social media. And even with good things, let's say your child has an award. They have got all A's at school. I mean, they're having just a grand old time. Well, when you show the award, blank out the name of the school or blank out your child's name, so that people who are looking with ill motives, they can't go to that school. They can't see the child on the playground because they done seen the child grow up since a baby, since you had the baby, you put pictures and everything, and then they be like, so-and-so, and the child be like, I don't know you. Oh, I'm your mama, so-and-so, I'm your mama, cuz I'm your daddy, I know your daddy. And they can lure your child away. So please be mindful of those things, right? And also, just going back to number 1 where I was saying don't post your address, and then coming back to what I'm talking about of protecting your family. If you go on trips, please make sure that you post after you have come back home. Like, I have posted trips, and not every trip have I posted. This is when I had, social media like Facebook and Instagram. And I would post just 1 or 2 pictures of where we were, not the hotel, just us enjoying ourselves. And somebody be like, oh, y'all so-and-so, y'all have fun. And I'm like, oh, that was last month. We home. Because you don't want people to know that your home is there, and nobody is there and it's not attended to, right? And people can have ill motives and go find your home because you posted your address. They know you're not there. They know you 400 miles away, and then they can come and get whatever they want from your home. So be mindful of that as well. Okay, so again, everything that I'm saying, you don't have to take it for face value. You go before the Lord, you take it before him, and you pray about it. And the last one, which I just said, be prayerful about everything. So we're going to 1 Chronicles 6 and 11. It says, seek the Lord in his strength, seek his face continually. And that is so prevalent today, because we want to constantly stay on our face seeking the Lord, because we need his guidance, we need his wisdom, because we can do things innocently, right? I've seen plenty of apartment tours, home tours, college dorm tours, and I'm like, okay, I like how people do how they furnish their home, how they decorate. I love seeing that. But then I think about it, I was like, Lord, make sure that you cover these people, because anybody can see with ill motives and they can take advantage. So we always want to make sure that we're prayerful about everything. So if you are ever in doubt, should I post this? Should I make a video about this? Should I say this? You get on your face before the Lord, you ask him. And the Bible tells us if we seek, we shall find. If we ask, it will be answered. If we knock, the door will be open. So if you ask the Lord, he is sure to give you wisdom in how you are to maneuver or to proceed. So again, don't proceed until you get an answer. Make sure that you have clear instructions before you move forward, right? Because this is your life. And again, whatever is on social media, it does not come off. Even though even when because I sew. So if anybody have ever seen, any of my I still have Pinterest up. But if you ever seen my Facebook or my Instagram, you see all the things that I've sewn. And I remember I deleted it. And somebody sent me a text and I was like, Shwa, can you make this dress? And it was a dress that I made years ago. And I was like, I don't even have those pictures up anymore. But they still kept it in their phone years later. So again, I just wanted to share how I believe that you can be discreet on social media. You can still be discreet, you can still have fun, and you can still use it wisely. And I pray that this video has been a blessing to you, and I pray that you have a great day. Take everything I said before the Lord. You don't have to take my word for it. Take it before the Lord, see what he says, and then proceed with caution. I love you all. Bye.